Baruch Hashem. Today's Chaf of Tishrei Tafshin Pei Daled. We're going to learn today Daf Amud Kuf-Tes Vav and Kuf-Tes Zayin Hemshech of the Rebbe Rashab Tafrish Samach Vov. So in yesterday's Maamer, we learned yesterday's Daf we continued the discussion how a Yid has a ruach and a neshama. Ruach corresponds to midas. Neshama is more like the idea of fire, which corresponds to moichin. And we said yesterday how even though the klolos of the neshama is taka ruach, there's still elements of it which have the level of hamshach, have a level of not hamshacha, of dveikus l'mayla. And even though we find in Ratzin also the idea of, in Midas also we find the idea of halah, but really the idea of halah and Midas is not that it wants to go up, rather that it wants to be misdabik in something else. As we said, that the idea of the ruach is the idea of Ratzin, we brought from the Rambam, and which Ratzin's whole idea is atoyas nefesh. But then there's a level of neshama in the Yid's nefesh ruach neshama, which corresponds to the idea of moichin, which is more the idea of his almos. Al derech we said of iskashus, which is more the idea. Not iskashus. The idea is histalkos. Iskashus is the idea of ratzin, which is miskasher to anything, either Allah or amshacha. So these are the same idea where there's Torah and mitzvahs. Torah is b'chinas halah, mitzvahs is b'chinas iskashus, as we discussed it yesterday. We start here right at the beginning of Kuf-Tes Vav, in the parentheses, V'ayin mashkatsa b'seif shalbenim perikutes. It says Ka'ira ner kachnish masa adam b'tiva v'teva zeh b'chinas chachma shebenefesh. So we say over here that the idea of the neshama is eish, and not like we were saying earlier that the ikar is ruach. So it says mashkatz v'sham v'chem b'chinas ruach v'nefesh. That also the other levels of the neshama correspond to fire. Shlomer the zamet al chachma b'chinas chachma shetiva kach. It's the chachma that's in those levels. That its nature is to be mistalik like moichin, but really the ikar of the neshama is ruach. Aval ruach ba'etzem tiva is b'chinas iskashus. Ruach ba'etzem is iskashus to connect either Allah, either amshacha, just like a ruach which has in its characteristics of Eish and Mayim. It says the medaber u'b'chinas Eish, which that goes on the person, which is the medaber, b'chinas Eish, because we said earlier that there's Eish ruach Mayim and Afar, corresponds to dem tzivit tzmeach chayim medaber. So medaber corresponds to Eish. To Torah, you said the medaber is ruach ve'eish chayim. And Torah brings another way to do it. The medaber, the level of the person that's a medaber, goes on ruach, more in line with what we're saying now, that the neshama's ikar is ruach, since the neshama is by the yid the idea of a medaber. The ruach is the idea of medaber. Yeah. Hine be'eish yesh be'gam kein aliyah v'yirida. So what we're saying till now is that the ruach has aliyah v'yirida. It's kashrus to where it can go, but the eish is mistalik lamayla. So we say today, no, the eish yesh begam ken aliyah v'yirida. Like we see in a candle, it's always going up and down. It's also being drawn, right? A candle is not only going up; it's being schlepped downwards. Even though this stuff is being drawn down, it's not its tava, it's rather the wick or the wood is grabbing it. If it didn't even have in itself the idea of amshach v'yirida, it wouldn't grab itself on, it wouldn't rest on the wick and the wood. It wouldn't grab on. It would always disappear. This that it's still grabbing onto the wick, and it rests to consume and finish off the wick, because it also has the idea of amshach, the idea of drawing down. Also, when the candle goes up, it doesn't fully leave. Besides the fact that it doesn't disappear totally. Keeps on coming back down to the wick. The whole way of going up is not in a disappearing way. It doesn't jump out of the wick. It's going calmly and steadily. Again, this is the wick that's grabbing onto it, which means on its own it would like to jump out. If you set up a candle on a wick, which is a type of wick that cannot be holding on to the fire, it will not be burnt in the fire. The fire does disappear. Again, if all it had in itself is the idea of going up, it also should have been jumping out even while it was resting on the wick. We must say this that the wick, this that the fire is going up steadily. This is also, or it is only, in the fire itself. Not from this that it's grabbing on. Therefore, even after the wick is fully burnt out, the fire doesn't jump, it goes up. Going up and down, this level of movement in the fire is in the white fire. The part of the fire that does grab onto the wick, it's the black fire, and that's what rests on the wick. With the white fire, it goes up and down. This whole concept that the Eish has Aliyah V'Yirida and Eish Lavana, in the Eish Ashchera. No, in the Eish Lavana, because the Eish Ashchera is the one that's Nechas B'Tzila. Even the Eish Lavana is against the Tev of the Eish. Which we said earlier, the Tev of the Eish is to be nostalgic in Ganzen. The Aliyah V'Yirida Sheba'Eish, this that the fire goes up and down, this is through the Ruach, the Spirit. Here it means every one of the four Yesodis is culled from all Yesodis. So the Eish has in it a little bit of Ruach. The Ruach in the Eish causes it to go up and down. But more precisely, or to see an actual example, he says, the without ear, fire cannot light and cannot shine. Shabbos, you cannot place a vessel on top of a candle on Shabbos. You're putting out the fire on Shabbos, chas v'shalom, because of bad ear. Or another example, when it's moldy or bad ear, the candle doesn't light. Gam even if you have the kind of wick, which the fire could grab onto it, it still puts it out. The fire does not rest in the wick. It doesn't go up. It's conquered and it's put out. This is because the avir over here allows it to even have its own tevav aliyah. Even though it's because of the thickness or the heaviness of the ear. So again, the tava eish on its own would be maybe oil of ear. So he says, it doesn't go up, rather it disappears. This characteristic that the fire goes up and down, it's through the ear. The ear causes the opposite of its nature. It can rest in the wick. This that it can go up. This that it could go up easily. Stafka through the fire, the spirit, the ear that controls the fire to be in this oifen. This that we just explained. In physical fire, Yuvan, B'nei Havaya Nishmas Adam. You can understand that about the neshama, the candle of Hashem, the neshama of the person. Shenikar Ner, it's called a candle. Shazel B'chinas Ur Amer, the Moichin Canal, which the candle is where the neshama is shining through the moichin. Kamoikin close p'chinas eremer the neshama. So to the general light of the neshama. V'hainu kamoisha teveish lalas l'mayla. Just like it's the nature of a fire to go up. Kamoya nitzutz, like a spark. Hanimshech al shalheves, which is drawn to the big ball of fire, to the flame. Kamoikinu b'nitzutz elikisha ben neshama, the spark, the Eibishter spark that's in every neshama. Shativa lalas l'mayla. Its nature is to go up, likolel, to be consumed, v'lidavik, and to connect. Ba'or havaya, in the light of Hashem. B'mesiris nefesh, b'kiloin v'stalkos. Mesiris nefesh, to be totally consumed and to disappear, to leave the world. K'may kol so nafshi, my soul goes out, ba'oineg, with pleasure, v'kosev gadol, and a great yearning, lotzis mechemer gufni, to go out of the spiritual grubkat. K'may alecha havaya nafshi esa, to you Hashem, my soul I will lift up. Lamayla, k'may b'spilus ava, the excitement of the love, the lekus b'vchinas ratz, libcha, to run with your heart. What does it mean to run with your heart? Beruach chaim shebelev, the spirit, with the spirit of life in your heart. Kachu b'neshama shemayach, so to the neshama in the mind. Every neshama wants to praise the Eibishter and go out and be consumed in the early key. It's the nature of the neshama to go up. Like the nature of the fire, lalis l'mayla l'mekareh, to go up to its source, Eish HaYesodi, which is the Eish HaYesodi, like the fire, the foundational fire. That's so to this, the nature of the neshama is to go back to where it was created from. This is the idea of the Shem Havaya and the Shem Elikim. Everything is drawn back to its Atzmi's the source. It's the natural, it's nature. The spark of the Eibishter, it should want to go up and connect in its source of Elikim Chaim, with yearning, with vika and connection, with great love, like the flaming fire which goes up. And therefore, in order to awaken this fire of the Nefesh Elikis, it's through contemplating the source that it came up, and that will awaken its teva to be drawn back to there. This is the idea of Inin Kirishma. Hear, O Israel, God is our God. When we have His benus, we hear that Hashem is our God. We hear that where our source and nature comes from. Nasa becomes v'ahavta, love. V'hainu, Hashem is boinin, when you contemplate. T'havaya lekeinu, Hashem is our God. Pirush Havaya the Eibishter, hu haya hoiva v'yiyah. He will be, He is, will be, and He is, was, and will be. V'nichlalim, and we are included b'Shem Havaya. Everything's equal by the Eibishter. Past, present, and future. V'ulevada is alone, yachidum yuchad, singular and one. There's no difference by the Eibishter between past, present, and future. Nothing has changed. We're the same you before the world was created. When the world was created. This level of Hashem, this is the level that's our Eibishter, that gives us strength and spirit. This is the source of all neshamas of the Yidden, which went up in the Eibishter's thought. Other creations should be the source of their life. Melech comes from the level of Melech. We come from Elikenu, this level that Haya Ato, which who Atzmai Elikenu, this level Havaya who Elikenu. So the idea is that the neshama has it, its teva like a candle to go up l'mayla. through this Isbainus that the Eibishter is our koyach, the same level, the Atmos, that is no difference, no Shiur of the world, that when you have this Isbainus in the source of where you came from, through this, Yislav Liboy, your heart will be excited. With a yearning and a desire and a draw, the call to be consumed in this oneness of the Eibishter. This excitement is in the neshama in its nature. To be drawn on the Kar-Chatzvah. But contemplation, so you have it beteva, but you need this Bainus to awaken it. Before that, we just said earlier, this is the fire, like the neshama being drawn the Maila. The fire is drawn the Maila. Happens through the ear and the spirit. Seeing a candle, when it's in moldy or heavy ear, it goes out. It's crushed. Avir creates it. The same idea we can understand the spark of the neshama in every yid. This that it goes up. This happens dafka through spirit. Like we said earlier, the source of the neshama, the essence of the neshama, is the level of ruach. Like we said, it's an internal and essence type of spirit. The man the nafich, the one that blows, when the Eibishter blew the neshama into it, he blew it out of his pnimius. The spirit, the ear of the Eibishter's mouth, which makes all other nivraim alive, is mehevel v'dibur alien. It's from the high ear of speech. That's external. It's not pnimius. The spirit of the Eibishter, which is waved and put into the neshama, this ruach is what awakens us to be able to go up like a fire. So like the fire has the ruach, which allows it to lalis l'mayla, the neshama has this ruach aliki, which allows it to be like the eish and go up l'mayla. Like we've seen a person that he can have a ruach isirus, a spirit of awakening. He'll be awakened with a spirit of purity, to go in the ways of the Eibishter, and to love, and to connect with the Eibishter. And this awakening, this causes the spark to go up like a fire. It's the nature. Nevertheless, it's connected and hung and dependent on the spirit that awakens it, which is this ruach pnimi which the Eibishter gave us. Comparable to the level of the awakening of the spirit, so too will be the excitement of the lakus in the neshama to go up with the fire. When there is no spirit in the person at all, there will not be any excitement like fire. Just going to be concealed and very small. It's shaykh to become put out through the thick spirit, the grabkeit of the Nefesh Habahamis. Sheruach HaBehema, spirit of Behema, your deadness, can cause you to go down. But there's Eirus Ruach HaLiki, through awakening the godly spirit, only through this, specifically through this, it will awaken the spark. Close in Bezahu. The general idea here, the excitement of the neshama to be like this fire, and so too going down. This comes from a kaich elyon. The whole back and forth of the neshama is thanks to the spirit of the bar. like we will see. Ubchinas ruach, the spirit, ubchinas mu'utzvas, the neshama, it's the essence of the neshama. V'adei skashos, ubchinas aratz in the neshama, the will of the neshama, belakus, mekar chaytzva, and this happens through connecting the ratzon of the neshama and elikus. B'chinas eres, the awakening b'chinas ruach dafka, because it's the essence of the neshama, and that's the b'chinas aratzon, like we said earlier. The b'chinas zuah is kashos, this is what creates iskashos. We said earlier, moichin is kind of anti-iskashos. Ruach is iskashos. V'adei eres b'chinas ruach dafka, tiyaslavos, it awakens the moichin davaslavos. Even the awakening, that the nitzah, the spark of the Eibush, to connect to the Eibishter with fire, to be by levels, gam ken al der ruach, because it's very level mashal, the eish mitzad atzmai, gam imoy nechas bepsila, even in a wick, hayakayfetz vayla, it will jump away. V'nesheteva eish mitzad atzmai last mile, the nature of the fire is to go the mile. The loy layer, the mataklam, not to go down at all. The lazayz gam shenech bepsila, even when it's holding onto the wick, the hayakayfetz mitzadalik will jump away. This allows the fire to go up slowly and calmly while they have it. It happens through the aver. It's also in the example of the neshama. Not just the kiloin to create the rish be'esh, even the fact that it happens this happens dafka through spirit. Now we're going to continue a new Indian. Toyu was all being drawn the mile. The ikar is to come down. Going out of the kilim. The iris should leave the kilim. The pasuk said earlier to run up the mile. And as the excitement and the desire to godliness becomes very strong, you're not excited about it. You're disgusted by the gashmistic guf. You want to be connected by the Eibishter. The neshama could take you over so much. The vessels of the brain, they will not contain this great excitement. It literally creates a klez nefesh, similar to Eish on its own, without the aver. Then you have the idea of shuv, the idea of tikkun, which is the way the Eibishter wanted the world, which we'll continue discussing tomorrow, Meretz Hashem, continuing this Indian of this beautiful mashal, exactly how the fire is. The Eibishter created the fire, is exactly the way the neshama operates. Gives us a little bit of an understanding of how we could connect to the Eibishter. A guten Tag.